Hi, welcome to Gadgets 360. Today's unboxing is a pretty exciting new product, the Asus ROG Phone 3. Now this isn't just a powerful phone, it's also got a lot of gaming-centric customizations in its hardware and software. So we're going to take a look at the product itself and go over its key specifications. Of course, before we start, please do remember to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you know whenever we release a new video. So here we can see this neat little holographic effect with the Asus ROG logo. The box itself is fairly plain. There's no information on the back other than shipping and some basic specs, but we'll talk about all of those in a bit. Let's just open the box. So first, right on top, there's this plastic folder. We have SIM eject pin with a pretty cool design. So that's fairly unusual, but in keeping with the ROG brand. We've got some warranty information, stickers, and let's have a look at this case. Now it's obviously not very typical, but these cutouts are designed to allow for some airflow and for various other accessories to clip on. So it should keep the corners of your phone protected in case it falls, but it's not very protective. And now get our first look at the phone itself. So here it is wrapped in plastic. There's some information about the design over here. We'll talk about that in a bit as well. We can see that this is a fairly large, bulky phone. So here we have a very glossy back with a little bit of that holographic effect again. Some slightly toned down graphics compared to what we've seen before. It's not super aggressive. We have 3 cameras on the rear and a flash. We'll talk about the specifications soon. There's also a little vent here for air cooling. Here's a nice touch. The USB Type-C on the bottom is off-center, so that won't interfere with your gaming. And let's turn this on while we get a good look at the rest of the device. So here we have the power button and volume buttons on this side. If you look closely, you can see the 2 air triggers at the top and the bottom. Now these are touch sensitive, but they've also been enhanced with this generation, which means that they support gestures. So you can tap and you can rest your fingers on them, but you can also swipe and slide around. And on this side, what looks like a button is actually a plastic flap. Now, while that's a little difficult to take out, it is completely removable, so it's actually likely to get lost. If you look closely, you will see essentially another USB Type-C port on this side, which is slightly longer than usual and has another little accessory nub to the side of it. So when you do slot this phone into its accessories, you get the benefit of a Type-C port as well as that connector. But this is really designed so that you can play games in landscape while having your charger plugged in over there. Let's have a look at the SIM tray. You can see that there are 2 cutouts for 2 nano SIMs and no support for a micro SD card. So let's quickly go through the setup process. You can set up the air triggers during the setup process itself, and there are 2 on this side as we saw, but there's also one on this side, so you can squeeze the phone from the 2 sides. That's it, the setup process is complete, but before we take a look at the software, let's finish looking at what's in the box. So below this flap we have the charger, which is relatively compact, has a Type-C port and is rated for 30 watts maximum. Then we have a 3.5mm to Type-C dongle, because there's no 3.5mm port on the phone itself. And of course then we have a simple USB Type-C cable. So that's all there is in the box. And now let's talk about the features and specifications of the ROG Phone 3. So to begin with, the most interesting and important thing to know about this phone is that it is the first to launch in India with Qualcomm's new souped-up Snapdragon 865 Plus processor. Now this is a slightly faster version of the 865, and ASUS does promise record-breaking benchmark scores as well as game performance. This fairly large screen has a 144Hz refresh rate, which is also a first for us. You can set it to 60, 90 or 144Hz. And this is a 10-bit screen that supports HDR as well. ASUS says that touch response is also extremely quick and latency is very low, which of course is good for gaming. There's also a fairly elaborate cooling system. You can see that we have stereo speakers on the front, above and below the screen. Above the screen we have a 24 megapixel f2.0 front camera. We also have 3 rear cameras. The primary one has a 64 megapixel Sony IMX686 sensor and an f1.8 aperture. The second one is a 13 megapixel ultra-wide f2.4 camera, and the third one is a 5 megapixel macro camera. On the inside of this fairly bulky device we have a 6000 mAh battery, and ASUS also says there are other features to make gaming better, such as optimized Wi-Fi antenna placement. When it comes to software, you can see we're running Android version 10 with a dark theme applied by default, and of course ASUS's X mode software is triggered by squeezing the sides, or there should be a toggle here as well. There we go. So what this does is optimize your memory and storage and triggers any settings that you might have defined to prevent disturbances from occurring while you're playing games. Of course, we also have this bright RGB LED logo on the back. The ROG Phone 3 will be available in India with either 8GB of RAM and 128GB of storage, or 12GB of RAM and 256GB of storage. There's also a version internationally with 16GB of RAM and 512GB of storage, but that won't be launching in India, at least not yet. So that was our unboxing and quick first look at the ASUS ROG Phone 3. Thanks for watching, and do remember to stay tuned to Gadgets 360 for the full review coming up very soon.